Hello everyone. Well, it's early May here in Massachusetts, so just thought I'd check in. It's that time of year when chickens tend to go a bit broody. That's when they exhibit their natural behaviour and tend to sit on eggs and pretend they're a mom even though they're not. We don't have roosters or cockerels here, so it's impossible for the eggs to be fertilised. So although I do like them to be able to express natural behaviour, which being broody is, unfortunately it's one of those circumstances where it's not doing them any good because they're sitting on an egg that's not going to hatch. They can lose a bit of weight, they won't eat right, they won't drink properly, drink enough water, so it's important that you kind of intervene. So I don't feel great about it, but I have to take them off the unfertilized eggs, and I have to segregate them, and I've got a little setup here in my external coop area, or my run, that allows us to do that, to keep them fed and watered, but just to stop them getting back on those unfertilized eggs. So I'm just going to give the girls their morning treat, which is a little bit of scratch feed and some mealworms, and you'll see them go crazy for that. And then I'm going to dive in and show you how to deal with a broody hen. Okay, more in a bit. All right, so it's morning treat time. I've got a little ear of corn which they'll enjoy, and as I said, I think in my last video, I give them a little bit of scratch grain and some bugs. These are from Fly Grubs. I'm not sponsored, but that's those right there. They're kind of additive-free mealworms and grubs, and as you can see, the girls absolutely love them. They'll go crazy for a few of these. This just allows them to scratch around, you know, a bit more of that natural behaviour stuff that I'm always going on about. I do make sure all the poop's cleaned up around here so they're not just eating off their own poop. I also turn this earth as well, so they get a lot of chance to eat, you know, worms and stuff like that, and bugs that they find. I am going to keep a little bit of this back because, you know, when we take a look at Pearl, our broody girl, in a minute, I don't want her to miss out on her snacks. So. All right, so we're going to take a look at this broody hen of ours and how to deal with her. So I'm going to switch into the forward view. You'll be able to see, you know, how I get at the nest box, which is where she's hanging out, and then how to handle, firstly, how to check that she is broody, and then how to handle her. If you haven't seen my other videos, look that up. There's just a couple, one on winterproofing and how I deal with chickens over the winter, and another on this whole coop setup and how it's predator proofed. You can see all this sort of welded wire and the wider run that I've got here, so it's well worth checking out if you're new to chickens. It'll show you how I keep the girls happy and healthy and protected. So let's swap this around. All right, so this is the nest box. It's got these very heavy duty lift and drop handles on it, which keep the predators out. And then when I lift it up, you're going to be able to see, here she is. Now, first of all, I'm going to lock it off. Right, there she is. So, telltale signs. Firstly, it doesn't take her 2 hours to lay an egg. Secondly, she's been on there a couple of days. So she went on yesterday and I took her off and then put her in a little chicken jail, and solitary if you like, and then today she's back on there, and I've checked on the video cameras which are inside, so I know that she's been on there far too long. And when I come close to her, you'll see her puff up her feathers. See her puff up the feathers? She's going into protection mode, and if I'm not careful, she will peck me. You know, she's a very sweet girl, but she will peck me. So you can tell she's got that low clucking noise. Stop eating that egg. So she's definitely broody. We're going to have to take her off the nest, and we're going to have to put her in the little protected area so that she doesn't keep going back on it. She did come out briefly today for a little dust bathe, but that's about it. She'll just sit in there for hours now, and possibly days, unless we take her off. Because she's broody, she's doing that puff feather thing, making herself look larger. She's also got that low kind of pop, 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 noise. It's fairly obvious that she's broody, and it's also affecting the other chickens because they do have their favourite nesting box, and when she's on there, they'll either delay, or they might drop an egg in the poop boxes overnight, or they're just not so happy, and there's a few squabbles, those kinds of things. Plus, we don't want Pearl, which is the broody chicken, to turn all the other chickens broody either. So I guess the secret is she might peck, but it's not going to do a lot of damage, but she could put a little bit of a cut on my hand or something like that. So I'm going to be pretty firm with her. Secret with all animals, really, I guess. Show a little confidence, but be kind and you know, as gentle as you can with them. I don't want any flapping, so I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to grab her by the wings, tight to her chest. I'm not going to squeeze her. They're very light boned, obviously, so I don't want to crack any ribs or anything like that. I'm just going to be firm, confident, pick her up and put her straight in the little box. So let's give it a go. I think she's the wrong way around, so she might even peck me this time. You see, there's actually 2 of them in there right now. No flapping. Now she can lay an egg. All right, there you go, sweetheart. So you could see she wasn't too happy about that, and there were 2 chickens in there. It's not always that difficult when there's one, it's just one and done. But I picked her up. I picked her up pretty firmly, but without hurting her, and she's now in the nest in the little separate area here. You can see she's not very happy. She's walking up and down, clucking away, but she's got food and she's got water in there. She wants to get back on the nest, but we're not letting her. So she'll calm down, and then we'll go from there. But that's how you deal with a broody chicken. She's going to stay in there till about 2 hours before sunset. You know, we'll then take her out and she can do a normal thing, have a bit of additional food and water before bedtime, and then she'll put herself back on the roost. So you can tell she's not very happy, but it's in her own best interest. We don't want her sitting on that nest all day. So she may take a couple of days to break that broodiness. So in the morning, I'll just see whether or not she's going back on the nest after trying to lay an egg. If she is and staying in there, then I'll put her in the little segregated area with some food and water, and eventually she'll lose interest. I should be able to tell, because she'll stop that low cluck, she'll stop that feather puffing thing, she'll be less inclined to get back in the nesting box. So I'll let her out a couple of hours before sundown. She'll do her usual thing, and then she'll head back to the roost from there, and then we'll check her out. It usually takes a couple of days to kind of break the broodiness, and then they're just back to normal and everything's good. So that's it for now. Check in soon. I'll be planting some herbs and veggies today, and then we can see what we do to keep them cool and happy in the summer. And then that's really kind of a whole year's worth of chicken keeping dealt with at that point. So good luck, enjoy it, and we'll see you later.